Hey guys, this is the Great Jedi and welcome back to the channel. Now before we get into the video, please consider subscribing, smashing the like button, commenting, and hitting the notifications bell down below. Anyways, let's jump right into the video. Okay guys, so this is part 2 of my last video. This is the Age of Rebellion update release notes. So basically, I haven't looked through these yet. This is just my live reaction. Usually the release notes are pretty long, so I'm not going to go over every little detail. So I will link all the release notes in the description down below. So if you guys want to know every specific detail, you guys can. I just don't want it to go on for hours and hours. Alright, so I'm just going to go over the main stuff. It says co-op is now available on the Age of Rebellion, okay, and Endor, Death Star 2, Hoth, Yavin 4, Kessel, Tatooine, Mos Eisley, and Jabba's Palace. Okay, the 2 new reinforcements, the Heroes versus Villains maps, the Hero Showdown maps, the new weapons that are coming to the Trooper classes, the updated, the default appearances for the original trilogy reinforcements. The quality of life features that they added were the changes to the map layout for Heroes versus Villains, for Yavin 4 and Geonosis, the vehicle units that are added as AI players on Geonosis, Kashyyyk, Naboo, Felucia, and Agent Kloss in instant action. The friendly AI can spawn as heroes on instant action. Players can now spawn on AI as squad members as fellow squad members on instant action. There's a bunch of visual updates on the PC chat window. A bunch of the UI changes. And then it looks like they have some hero changes here. They added dual zoom to the blaster weapons for Iden, Bosk, and Finn. Okay, so that's a pretty big change, because I hope not the dual zoom, but if you just press the aim button, I hate how they zoom in because you can never see your health bar. I don't know how many times I've died by zooming in with a hero, not knowing my health, and then I just insta die. So I hope it's just kind of like the assault class or the officer class, where you just kind of go over your shoulder, but then when you press R3, it's kind of like a zoom in, like how it normally is. I think that would be a good change. It looks like they added a visual information to show that certain hero abilities can be cancelled. So Han Solo's Sharpshooter, Bosk Predator Instincts, Leia Organa's Rapid Fire, and Chewbacca's Furious Bowcaster. So that's all good changes. So it looks like there's a bunch of blaster hero changes, which I am all for. Fix an audio issue with the lightsaber ignition. Let's see. Fix an issue where opponents could be seen briefly hanging in midair if being electrocuted right when they were about to fall. They fixed various visual issues with the footprints and trails of General Grievous, Yoda, BB-9E, and BB-8. They fixed some issues with BB-8 and BB-9E. With voice lines, their support ability, score reward. And it looks like they fixed some of the milestones with them, where they would reward the wrong emote. They fixed an issue where Leia would not be able to zoom with her weapon during rapid fire ability. Okay. The abilities, they basically just replace the flash grenade with the thermal detonators. Leia can throw up to 3 thermal detonators that will explode after 0.85 seconds. And then Leia's squad shield is now healing 5 health every second. They're changing her star cards, so we're getting new star cards. Balancing tweaks with her main blaster. The new milestones. Chewbacca changes with his bowcaster. When he's basically not scoped, the 3 bolts are clustered in a triangle instead of a horizontal line. Then when scoped, you have 1 powerful shot that allows Chewbacca to be more efficient at long distance instead of the 3 horizontal shots clustering. And then when using his middle ability, which is Furious Bowcaster, when you're not scoped, like when you're not pressing the aim button, he will do 5 bolts in a larger circle, and then when scoped, when you hold that aim button down, it's going to be 5 bolts in a cross tighter than not scoped. And then they fixed an issue where Chewbacca's bowcaster could get disabled during the entirety of Boba Fett's concussion rocket ability. Okay. They fixed an issue where Boba Fett's acute concussion star card would not accurately extend the duration of the concussion rocket ability. Okay. And they changed Boba Fett's concussion rocket to integrate the blaster disabler functionality. The ability now disables blasters for 1.2 seconds when concussed. So these changes for Boba believe it or not, I'm really happy they did fix, because those star cards wouldn't really do anything for him. So I'm glad they fixed that. And this is the specific star cards that they did fix, so that's cool. They just fixed some visual changes with Rey. Oh, there we go. We have a, looks like they didn't nerf Anakin Skywalker, but they fixed an issue where the damage reduction from heroic might would occasionally remain after the ability was over. I'm so glad they fixed that, because Anakin in some situations would just be invincible, super hard to kill. Basically, if you guys don't know, what would happen is, when he's in his heroic might animation, he has a 90% damage reduction, and then after that ability would be over, he would sometimes still have that 90% damage reduction, and it would just be insane to kill him because it'd be so hard. With Luke Skywalker, they fixed an issue with some of the textures popping on Luke Skywalker's hair while he's in idle, and then wearing his Yavin ceremony and farm boy appearances. Looks like we have a buff here for Iden Versio. It says, improved Iden's pulse cannon ability. Players can now fire when aiming from the hip, as well as fire at any time during the charge up. Even if the shot does need to be fully charged, a charged shot does a lot more damage. So this is a really good change. Basically, they're buffing her middle pulse cannon ability, which I definitely like and agree with. This is Kylo Ren community feedback. The last hit of Kylo Ren Frenzy will now apply damage, even if a lightsaber enemy is blocking. So his last hit of Frenzy ability will go through blocks. So, I mean, that's just a big kind of like buff for him. That's definitely going to be that's going to come in handy when you're going against blocking saber heroes when they block forever. Just go ahead and use your Frenzy abilities, and that will finish them off if they're low health. The General Grievous, they fixed an issue where Grievous's unrelenting advanced animation would sometimes not be visible for other players. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing, so that's pretty important. I don't know how many times I probably died from that. I'm not even sure. They have a bunch of game modes and map changes to Supremacy. They have balancing stuff. They reduced the amount of flame troopers available on the MC-85 Star Cruiser to 2. All these seem pretty simple. They have some co-op changes where they tweak the out-of-bounds area in the first phase to co-op, defend on Takodana to allow retreating to the castle. They fixed an issue where a number of AI would be suddenly dying during phase 3 on co-op in Agent Claw, so that's a big issue that they fixed, so that's good. So a lot of bug fixes in here, which is always good. They have some instant action stuff where they added that the performance can be impacted if a user selects a high count of AI, so that's a good thing. They implemented a limit in how frequently friendly enemy AI heroes and reinforcements are allowed to spawn, so this is really good changes here. Fixed an issue with audio being cut during the end of round screen on instant action, okay. Added new front-end options for instant action. This is what I've been wanting to see. This is really good. Where they have a enemy hero count slider, friendly hero count slider, enemy reinforcement, friendly reinforcement, enemy vehicle, and friendly vehicle count. All sliders. I am so happy they added this. More options for the offline community, the better. That way they can, make it to their liking. Maybe they want a really hard team to go against, or maybe they just want to easily dominate, So I really like the changes they did for instant action. And I'm glad they're still focusing on instant action. Oh, Starfighter Assault, that's new. Usually they don't have anything for Starfighter Assault. So they removed the era associated cost for hero ships. On Starfighter Assault, all hero ships on Starfighter Assault will now cost the same number of battle points. So basically, if you guys didn't already know, if you're playing on a prequel trilogy map and you wanted to be Darth Vader, he would cost more, and vice versa. If you wanted to be Maul ship on an Empire map, it costs more. And that's kind of how the heroes used to be in Galactic Assault. They switched it to where they're all the same. Looks like they're doing the same thing in Starfighter Assault now, which I agree with. They fixed an issue where the stray assess would be visible near the horizon when the user approaches the out-of-bounds barrier on Starfighter Assault Camino. Okay. So they fixed in Heroes vs. Villains. They fixed an issue where a player could briefly see their character before the end of round screen at the end of the Heroes vs. Villains match on Fallujah. Okay. They have a Galactic Assault issue where the loading screen for the Starkiller base on Galactic Assault would display the description for strike mode. So they fixed that. They have a bunch of map changes. They reworked Dark Troopers dual wielding to fire both pistols with the primary fire. We talked about that in our last video. The assault, they fixed an issue where the assault's flash pistol projectile would not flash the enemy. Okay, I honestly haven't even really seen that star card. I mean, I personally played with it, but I mean, like, going against other people, that's not a very popular star card, but I'm glad they did fix it for those people that do use it. The specialists, they fixed an issue where specialists would not always see the enemies in thermal vision when activating the thermal binoculars on indoor. I've experienced this. I'm glad they fixed it. They increased the close damage for the blurg up to basically the 25 damage to 30, which I'm all for. I do feel like they nerfed the blurg too much in the past, so I'm glad they're giving it a bit of a buff. The CAFX Spy, they fixed an issue where the cooldown bar would not be visible after using the rapid fire ability. They reverted the previous update where movement speed would be reduced when spooling up and firing the rotary cannon. Okay, so that's a big change that I'm glad they fixed. That's kind of like a little buff for the Vizian gunner. They fixed an issue when we're firing the rotary cannon when it triggered the control rumble. Okay. They fixed an issue with the TX-130, reduced the battle point multiplier for the AT-SC from 60% to 50%. Okay, so that's good. Aerial, they fixed some issues with the jetpack dashes. And then for the Jet Trooper, they reduced the damage from the primary pistol from 50 to 45 when close, and then far damage from 33 to 10. So we have a bit of a nerf here for the Jet Trooper, and they made his pistol fully automatic. So I don't know how this change will be. I mean, if you are already aiming right and everything is good, then I can see why you might not like this change. But people who don't have, specific or good aiming, they're going to like this change. I don't know. I want to try it out before I kind of like judge it, because I mean, from the other Jet Troopers and stuff, their blaster was a bit OP compared to the other blasters, so maybe they're just trying to keep it more balanced, and then in return of that nerf, they made it fully automatic, which is a bit of a buff. Then they replaced the Rebel Rocket Trooper's weapon, the Imperial Rocket Trooper's weapon, the Death Trooper. They replaced their weapon. They updated the overload. And then for the weapons, they fixed an issue where applying weapon mods would not correctly update the animation for those weapons. Okay. They have the milestones for the trooper milestones, and they updated the A280 milestones. I can't even talk right now. Then for the AI players, okay, so more offline stuff, which is good. They fixed an issue where the AI in Supremacy Age of Resistance would be seen carrying weapons from the wrong era. Okay, so they fixed that. They fixed an issue where the AI would not spawn at BB-8 or BB-90 as frequently as other heroes. Okay, so that's a good change. Fixed an issue with the jump timing on the AI version of Chewbacca. Alright, cool. And then a bunch of other fixes that they did. I don't see any like big changes. Oh, I guess this would be kind of controversial here. Remove the ability to buy crystal packs in game for owners of the Celebration Edition. I hope that's not a bad sign that they're not doing any more like skin bundles. Like if that's, I really want them to keep on adding skins, so I hope that's not a bad sign right there. But we'll just have to wait and see. They fixed an issue that would cause rubber banding when the player is dashing away after being close to a lightsaber opponent making the first charge. Okay, so if I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking of, then I'm glad they fixed it. Like when you dash and you're away, but then you like go back and you die. I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about. I'm glad they fixed that. I really hope they fix that, but we'll just have to wait and test that out. Now, I thought that actually had to do with something to do with like the hit detection, but We'll just have to wait and try it out and see if that actually fixes it. And they updated the availability of certain cosmetic items from available in crates to available through milestones. Okay. So I wonder if they're just going to get rid of that crate menu right there. And then they fixed an issue where heroes would sometimes appear with barely closed eyes in the frame. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's a big deal. Known issues. Visual issue where the high numbers are inaccurately shown under the player damage score event after defeating an enemy. Okay, so they had a bunch of bug fixes, which I am all for. I'm so glad they did that. And they have one known issue here. So, yeah, that's about it for all the important stuff about the patch notes. Just a reminder, guys, if you want to see every specific thing, I will link this down in the description down below. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. This is the Great Jedi, and may the Force be with you always.